Hey folks, so I'm here in Soundtrap again, and for this part of the assignment you're going to add a bass line to the progression that you made in the previous lesson. So if you remember back when we did that, this was mine that I recorded for you. I ended up doing a C chord in root position, then a C sus2, and then I went to an A minor in root position, and then I did an E minor chord in first inversion. And that was my progression. Now we're going to add a bass line to that. Now you may have noticed in some spots of this that it may not be completely lined up to the beat as perfect as we want it, and that is normal when you're recording anything to a click. So there's a little trick in Soundtrap where you can quantize your beat. So that means you can take all of these little MIDI dots and make sure they line up perfectly to the beat. All you got to do is this. Click on one of your MIDI squares, press Control A, it selects all of them. Notice how they all lit up there. And then you go over to Edit and down to Quantize. Now, this is where it's a little bit confusing, so you may have to try a couple of these, but I was trying to line mine up to the click ta, 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 to right on the beat. So that means I was going to the nearest quarter note. Now, those should be all perfectly lined up, all of these. Let's see. Yep, sounds good there now. You may have to do that with yours. You may be happy the way it is. It doesn't really matter as long as you're happy with the way it lines up. Now, if you are, that's great. You can just leave it where it is. Otherwise, you can quantize if you like. So, to find a bass line, I'm going to try and play some low notes here. Now, I'm going to press play. I'm not going to record anything yet because I want to find something that fits. So I'm going to start on just a root note C because that's the way it starts. And I'm just going to try a few different things. So let's go over here. I want to go into my instrument so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And I'm playing way down here. There, way down there. The bottom of the piano. So, let's see. So I'm going to play my C right there on C1. That's what I'm going to start with. I'm just going to press play and try a few different things. So that time I was just doing the root notes, trying to follow along. I'm going to try and change it up a little bit. I'm going to try a chord tone of the E, which will be a G, but I'm also going to try adding in a D at some point here. So let's see what we get. Now what I did there is I played the root note on the first chord, and then I went to a D, which is the sus2 part of that C chord. And then I played the root note A, and then I went to a G, which is the third in an E minor chord. And I think it worked better, so I'm going to go with that. And in the end of the day, as long as it sounds good, it's probably good. So once you're ready for that, then you can just record over your MIDI track that you have and to see what you get. So I'm going to do that click, and it gives me 8 counts. And you will likely only need to record it once. And then you can see what we get here. Go to my piano roll. Yeah, you can see them down there. Now, what I can do is shorten it right up there again, and then go into my piano roll. Make sure those are quantized if they're lined up the way I want. They look pretty good, but I'm just going to do a quick quantization again here to make sure that Control A to select all, just to make sure that they're where I want them. And if I'm happy with that, I'll loop it again, and now I have the bass line in there, and you can see it. Okay? Or, if you want, you can select a new track and make your bass line in a completely new track. Okay? And just do a bass line down here instead of re-recording it over top the same track. It's up to you. Whatever is easier, and whatever your teacher asks you to do, because either one will work. Have fun.